the sound breaking out, Lord, for all that you've done. And now we're turning our hearts to you. And oh, never stop loving you. Come on. This will be the best time of our life as we encounter your love again. Here with you, our hearts will come alive as we declare your praises. As we declare your praises. You are the only one in my head. I've chosen you, now my heart is set. Your voice forever renews my strength, my strength. More than a rush of adrenaline, you will sustain me until the end. You are the only one. You are the only one. When you speak, dreams and reality collide. Your word rewrites my destiny. Love finds a new beginning. 'Cause you are my energy. El salir del sol no se compara con tu belleza y tu esplendor. Y me da calor, puedo sentir tu amor. Por tu mano todo fue creado. Tengo hoy libertad, ahora puedo bailar. No puedo contener tu amor. Me inunda el mar de toda tu bondad. Te quiero más de ti, mi Dios. Eres mi principio, mi fin, la razón por la que quiero vivir. Cristo, eres tú mi pasión, mi corazón por siempre es tuyo, Señor. Revolution somehow. And love explode and bring the dead to life. Love so long to bring a revolution somehow. Now I'm lost in your freedom. In this world I'll overcome. My God's not dead, he's surely alive. He's living on the inside, roaring like a lion. God's not dead, he's surely alive. He's living on the inside, roaring like a lion. He's roaring like a lion. Traigo una alabanza, es más que palabras.
What's happening, everyone? 10 minutes to go until the first night of high school youth group on YouTube Live. So if you don't have Kahoot downloaded, now's the time. Go ahead and download the app and then put the code in, and you can be all queued up and ready to go. We're going to play that near the beginning, and we'll see you in just a few minutes. All right, guys.
To this world, it makes me go insane. You know the sun goes down, the days go by. I won't be living for nothing, no, I'll be living for something. The sun goes down and the days run dry. Will we be dying for nothing or dying for something? Everywhere we go, cities far and low, we all need to show we got lost there. People of all kinds, places far and wide, we all need to know we were born to love. We were born to love. You can roam around this crazy world all that you want. Oh, but the chance of finding what you're looking for is slim tonight. Yeah. You know the sun goes down, the days go by. I won't be living for nothing, no, I'll be living. And if the sun goes down, the days run dry. Will we be dying for nothing or dying for something? Yeah, we making moves, no time to lose. Gotta show 'em what we all about. Don't know about you, but I know about me. And boy, I got no doubt we can change the world with just one word. I believe it, so should you. L to the OVE is what we really need. I can feel it breaking through. Everywhere we go, cities far and low, we all need to show we got lost there. People of all kinds, places far and wide, we all need to know we were born to love.
What's happening? We're like 4 minutes away. I lost my countdown timer, but we will be starting here in just a minute. Excited to see you guys online. Go ahead and say hi in the chat, and we will see you soon.
Roto estaba mi corazón, pero tu mano me rescató. Del polvo yo volví a nacer. La salvación en ti encontré. Tu amor no puedo expresar. Te seguiré por la eternidad. En tu gracia caminaré. En libertad siempre viviré. Sí, en ti soy libre. Sé exaltado, tu amor no se acaba. Oh, oh, oh. Tú mismo estás en mí, no hay nadie en tu lugar. Te necesito, Dios, eres mi libertad. Oh, oh, oh. Al pasar por la oscuridad, su luz siempre me guiará. Mis cadenas Jesús rompió, con su mano me rescató. Este mundo terminará, te seguiré hasta el final. Haz en mí, Dios, tu voluntad. Venga tu reino a este lugar. Sí, en ti soy libre. Sé exaltado, tu amor no se acaba. Oh, oh, oh. Tú mismo estás en mí, no hay nadie en tu lugar. Te necesito, Dios, eres mi libertad. Oh, oh, oh. En ti soy libre, sé exaltado. En ti soy libre, sé exaltado.
What is happening? Happy Thursday. Glad that you could join us tonight for the very first New Hope High School Youth Group Live. As Ruby Anderson would say, welcome to Youth Group. I'm so glad you're here. But much louder than that. So, Ruby, thanks for joining us again. Glad to have you be our official greeter as we hang out tonight. Hope you guys are surviving your long stretch at home. You know, I've canceled youth group before because of bad weather or because of snow, but I have never canceled it because of a virus. So you are a part of making history, and we are going to have fun hanging out online tonight. So, hey, if you have not jumped on Kahoot, let's see, there's a code that was up a second ago. What is it? 902092 is what you need to put in there, and you will get on Kahoot. I'll throw that up there in a second. But just so you know, I barely knew how to do anything on YouTube just a few days ago, and in the course of the last 3 days, I've I've pretty much become a professional YouTuber. We had a few students in our own high school youth ministry just in the past few years who tried to start up a YouTube channel. So William and Roland, if you're out there, man, I really feel like I can relate, and I know the challenge and the struggle of trying to be a YouTuber now. It's tough. It's tough out there. They asked students recently what they wanted to be when they graduated from high school, and YouTuber was actually in the top 5. So I feel like this could potentially be a next career move, that I could be a part-time, full-time YouTuber. But I didn't even know what words like encoder and latency rate were, but now I do, and it makes me feel smart. But anyway, hey, I would not be surprised if my YouTube channel started exploding really, really in the near future, because at the beginning of the week, I only had 7 subs. That's short for subscribers for all of you non-YouTube lingo people. But when I checked earlier today, I had 26 subscribers. So one of the things I want to do tonight is give you a chance to win some Dutch Brothers. And so let's say that I had a right triangle, and let's say that one side of that right triangle measured 7 feet, and the other side measured 26 feet. What would the length of the hypotenuse in that triangle be? First person to comment the correct answer in the chat room will be getting a free Dutch Brothers delivered by me. So right triangle, right? 3 sides. I know you guys have been out of school for a few days. Right triangle, 3 sides, 7 feet on one side, 26 feet on the other side. What is the length of the hypotenuse? Okay, we'll see. I mean, I know some of you guys are math geniuses, but I even know this. If you can't remember the Pythagorean theorem from like 6 days ago when you went to school, I don't even know what you're going to be in life. But anyway, I'll hold on. I noticed nobody's really jumping in guessing real much. If you're a squared plus b squared equals c squared, I'm trying to give you some hints there. But Brooke Turner, 26.9. Nailed it. Brooke Turner, you are the winner of a Dutch Brothers. Go ahead and put in the comments what you want from Dutch Brothers. I will personally go get it, sanitize it for you, and then drop it off in the next few days. So congratulations, Brooke. Oh, the Phoenix, very nice. A little bit late. But yes, and then, Brooke is clarifying by rounding or clarifying to the, what is that, the thousandth place right there. It's very precise, Brooke. Appreciate that. So, hey, just a few things as we get started. I'm going to go ahead and put our first Kahoot up on the screen so that you can jump in there. So if you've got the app downloaded, go ahead and put that number in, and you will jump on there. Little trivia we're going to play. Also, for some Dutch Brothers. I've delivered a few Dutch Bros today to some middle school students, and super fun to actually see you guys. Don't worry, I stayed 6 feet away, but and I guess until I handed it to them, then I could have just set it on the hood of my car maybe, but next time. So we are actually going to do 2 short Kahoots tonight. So you're going to have 2 chances to win some Dutch Brothers. So if you don't win this first game, there's going to be another one at the end. And so you'll have another chance to win at the end. So I'll give you a few minutes to jump in there. Looks like you guys are doing well. Got lots of people in already. Thank you to the person who named themselves Pastor Tim Beal. If Pastor Tim Beal wins, just so you know, that's not me, but feel very, very respected by that choice of name. So if you haven't already, go ahead and say hi in the comments. Hey, tell me how you're feeling about all of this cancellation. I know some people are super excited that they don't have school for a while. Others of you are actually super bummed, and you're going to miss your friends, and your sports got canceled. So tell us how you're doing in the comments. I'll have a few chances as well to ask you guys a question like I normally do, and you guys can respond in the comments to that. So be prepared for that. So, okay, so Kahoot number 1, everybody in? Hope so. Looks like a bunch of people. If you don't get in this first round, like I said, there'll be another one at the end, and you can jump in there. But I made a little quiz. I love you guys so much that I upgraded. I paid the extra $3 a month to do Kahoot Pro, which means that there's some extra special questions in there today. And I went pretty easy on the middle schoolers yesterday, so really tried to put some effort into tricking you and making sure that you guys were adequately challenged, since your minds have been, really lazy lately. Okay, so here we go. Kahoot number 1. We're getting started right now. There are 7 questions in this challenge. Question number 1. What is the name of the virus that is spreading all over the world? Ooh. 4 choices. They all look the same, but which one is it really? Which one is it? And just so you know, as you're playing, there's a little bit of a delay. So the question, you should have 30 seconds. You'll probably actually only have about 20 seconds to answer, maybe less, but answer quick. So, only got 10, 11 answers. Oh, very good. Two people got it right. Let's see. Who was that? Mad Pony and Dan, the teacher. Yes. Is that Madden? Mad Pony 101? All right. Question number 2. What's the name of this city which experienced a large amount of the coronavirus infections? This is one of the cities. Should be revealed slowly. Wuhan, China, San Francisco, Seattle, or Venice, Italy? Which one is it? Ooh. Oh. You know what? That was supposed to be only Seattle, Washington. Oh, my bad. Well, people who guessed Wuhan, you're wrong, but you got credit for it. So sometimes there's grace for that. My bad. Question number 3. Oh, let's see. Dan taking the lead. Oh, man. Aurelio's up there. Haley and Brooke teaming up. Meadow and Greg rounding out the top 5. Question number 3. Coronavirus is also referred to as which one of those 4 names? It's one of those 4. How are we doing on delay? What do you think we are?
I haven't seen the question.
Oh, okay. Oh, really? Still?
Well, I mean, we've seen the first 2 questions.
So maybe that's why, maybe some of you guys are struggling to answer because you can't see the question.
See, it just had loaded.
Okay.
Just finished getting there, and then I said,
well, we're learning. I don't think I can change that mid-game, so we're just going to keep going. You know what? Some people are getting it. If anything, it's proving that Dan Allen is the smartest guy in the room. No big surprise there. Which of these is a picture of the coronavirus? 4 pictures of viruses there. I'm sure you're all familiar with the names and the pictures of what viruses look like. Let's see. 5 seconds. And not that many people are answering, which means it's probably not working great. But only 2 people got that one right. Okay. Let's see. Was that Mr. Dan? Oh, Aurelio takes the lead. Ooh, by a long shot. Aurelio has a streak with 3 right answers in a row. Question number 5. Which of these men's basketball teams were not in the top 10 when the NCAA basketball tournament was canceled? Gonzaga, Duke, Kansas, or Kentucky? College basketball fans, which of these teams were not in the top 10? Maybe it's because you guys are Googling, you're trying to Google all your answers, and maybe that's why it's taken so long. All right, 2 seconds left. Duke was the right answer. Duke was actually number 11 the last time the standings were there, which means we are on to question. Ooh, is that Megan with a fire symbol? Oh, because she has the highest answer streak of 3. I see. All right. All right. Next question, second to last of round 1. Tom Hanks' wife was diagnosed with coronavirus. What is her name? What is Tom Hanks' wife? What's her name? Samantha Lewis, Rita Wilson, Kimberly Ann Scott, or Bridget Nielsen? Let's see. Two seconds. All right. Rita Wilson is correct. Very nice. That puts Dan back in the lead before we go to our last question of round number 1, which is the term for the transmission of a pathogen from an animal to a human. Is it zoonotic springer, zoonotic spreader, zoonotic spillover, or contact tracing? The transmission of a pathogen from an animal to a human. All right. A few more seconds left, and we will see if the man, Dan Allen, stays in the lead. Looks like 3 people got that one right, which means the winner of the first Kahoot, well, in 3rd place, Anani. Nice job, Anani. 2nd place, Megan, which means, let's see. Yes, it is. It's Dan Allen. Dan, congratulations. I'm going to go ahead and be generous, and if that's Megan, MEG smiley face, then Megan, I'll give you a Dutch Brothers as well. So Dan and Megan, tell me in the comments below what you want, and I will get you some Dutch Brothers. So hey, we're going to do another Kahoot at the end, and while Emily is doing some announcements, I will change the timer to a longer period and see if we can fix that delay. So sorry about the lag on that. But we'll try that again. So anyway, hey, glad again that you're joining us. We are here's the plan for the night. I'm going to chat for a little bit, and then we're gonna hear from Emily, who's got some tips on how to survive staying at home with your family for weeks on end. We've got a couple announcements. We'll do another Kahoot, but hope you guys are doing well. I know that this is kind of an unprecedented time. Something like this has never happened in my lifetime, so the fact that it's happening in yours is unique. But I want to tell you a quick story. When I was a kid, I grew up spending my summers at Coeur d'Alene Lake in Idaho. I don't know if anybody's ever been there before. Super beautiful part of the country over by Spokane. And when I went out to the lake, my grandparents had a cabin there, and so we had to walk on this road that was behind the cabin, and above the road were these big dark rocks. And my older cousin would always tell me that bears lived up in the dark rocks, that there was a cave, and that if I ever were to walk by that road alone, that I should keep my eye out for bears. And so I always did. I was always kind of freaked out, like I was pretty sure he was lying, but I knew there was like that small chance that there were bears out there. And so I was always freaked out, and so I never turned my back on the cave. I would like walk backwards until I went around the corner, and so I could see the bear cave potentially the whole time. But fear is a huge motivator in life for most of us, whether it's fear of the future, fear of failure, fear of missing out. Advertisers want us to fear things like getting wrinkly skin. They want to sell us products that will keep us skinny and not overweight. If you think about politics right now, a lot of the rhetoric among candidates is fear that if you elect that other guy, that he will ruin our lives, he'll ruin our economy, they'll ruin stolen everything that we have. They'll take your house and your money and your guns, and you'll be poor, and we'll all have to ride Razor scooters to work for the rest of our lives, or whatever it is. But it's based on fear, right? And even if you read the news headlines, often they are based on fear. And a lot of these fears are funny, but the reality is there are some things in life that truly are scary, or things that we are often afraid of. And when somebody has a fear, it's called a phobia, right? So if you're online there, go ahead and comment about what your phobia is. If you had a fear of something, or if you have one right now, I want to hear about it. I want to hear some fears that you have. I'll start you off, a couple of mine. Cougars. When I'm out in the woods, I constantly have this other sense that there may be some cougars lurking in the background, waiting to eat me. People who wear socks with their sandals, it's a huge fear of mine. I run away as fast as I can. It's just, it's crazy. It shouldn't be okay. Long nose hairs. I have a fear of long nose hairs, mostly mine. And so I try to get a little trim up there. I don't know. You guys feel like scissors work well for you, or you use like a little tool in there? I don't know what your preferences are, but let's see. Bees. We have a fear of bees. Dan's afraid of moose, or meese if it's plural, right? We're height. Oh, a fear of heights. Yeah. Gina Stevens says heights. It's funny that, Gina, that you said heights, because when I think of your fears, I typically think of other things besides heights. But we all have fears, right? But there's, all through the Bible, we are told things like, don't be afraid, or fear not, or have no fear. But there's a difference in the Bible between the Bible telling us not to be afraid and other people telling us not to be afraid. And here's what I mean. When I was a kid, I remember pulling the sheets over my feet and my arms because I thought there was a monster either under my bed or in my closet, right? But I felt like if my limbs were inside the covers, I'd be okay. So limbs that were dangling over the bed, those are the things that monsters love to reach out and grab, and I could just sense it there. And so I'd always bring my feet in. And then my parents, though, they would always tell me I didn't have to be afraid because there weren't actually monsters under my bed. My fear was unfounded. Sometimes, you'll hear of adults who are scared of flying, and someone will say, well, statistically, it's actually more dangerous to drive than it is to fly. And that's true, right? You're trying to convince them that their fear of dying in a plane crash is actually pretty unfounded, like it very rarely happens. But when the Bible talks about fear, it doesn't actually tell us that our fears are irrational or unfounded. It actually describes situations where fear is well-founded or a very natural response. And then it says, don't be afraid. So here's what it says in Psalm 46. It says this: God is our refuge and strength, always ready to help in times of trouble. So we will not fear when earthquakes come and the mountains crumble into the sea. So this verse is talking about earthquakes, natural disasters, mountains crumbling, dangerous waters. These are all things that are really scary. But the psalmist says that God is our refuge and strength, one who is present in our troubles. So notice that it doesn't say that God takes us out of our troubles, but that God says he will be with us in our troubles. So he's assuming that we will have trouble. So what does it mean for God to be your refuge? So what's a refuge, right? It's usually a place where you run when you're in trouble. It's a safe place, a place that will protect you from danger. But anytime there's danger, it still feels scary. And so one time I was over in Idaho again, driving through some back country roads, and I was with Heather and some friends of ours, and we were in our car, and we saw two baby bears crossing the road in front of us. And so I opened the door, and I was going to go out and I was going to take some pictures with my camera. not my cell phone camera, because we didn't have cell phone cameras back then, but like a real camera, right? And everybody in the car was like, no, don't, the mother bear will come out and attack you, right? And I was like, well, I'm pretty fast. Like, I will run back into the car, because when I'm in the car, I'm safe. Like, I felt pretty confident that if I could get in my car, that my car was bigger, stronger, and faster than this bear, that my car would be my refuge, right? And because my refuge was secure, was bigger than the bear, I felt safe there. I didn't end up taking the picture because everybody freaked out. So I don't have that picture, unfortunately, to show you. But I wish I would have, because I believed my car would have protected me. So when this psalm talks about God being our refuge, it's asking us the question, do you really believe God is bigger than your fear? And when we come to the New Testament, we see Jesus, he talks about fear a whole lot. In Mark 4, the disciples are in this boat, and there's a storm, and Jesus is sleeping the whole time, right? Disciples are freaking out, and then they finally wake Jesus up, and he calms the storm, and after everything's still, he looks over at him, and he says, "Why were you so afraid?" Right? And then in Luke 12, Jesus gives this whole sermon on anxiety and worry, and how we spend a lot of time worrying about our clothes and what we'll wear and what we'll eat and drink, maybe where you're going to get your next roll of toilet paper, all of these kind of anxieties of the field or of the world. And then Jesus says, don't be afraid of these things. And then lastly, in Mark 5, there's this guy named Jairus, and he has really the ultimate fear of every parent, where his daughter is sick and dying. And so he comes to Jesus and asks him to heal his daughter. And Jesus is walking towards Jairus' house, and some messengers come and they say, hey, it's too late. Like, she's already passed away. Don't bother Jesus anymore. He doesn't need to come. And the first thing that Jesus does is he looks at Jairus and he says, don't be afraid. Fear often reveals our lack of trust. And if you're like me and like most of us, we've experienced some level of fear and anxiety these last few weeks. And I think we have to ask ourselves, why am I afraid? What is it that I'm scared of? Is it the threat of my health or the threat of my family's health? Is it my education, that I'm not going to get to go to school and I'm anxious about what that's going to be like? Are you anxious that you're going to be lonely and bored for the next month? None of these are irrational fears. Those are all legitimate things that could impact our lives. And so God is not asking us to deny that. But if we're going to overcome fear, we have to find something that is bigger than the thing that we're scared of losing. We have to find something that is bigger than the thing we're scared of losing. And obviously for us as followers of Jesus, we believe that Jesus is the thing who is bigger than any of our issues and our fears and our problems. And I think as our understanding of Jesus and who he is and what he's done for us on the cross, as that understanding grows bigger, it makes our fears shrink and feel and be smaller. It's not that our fears aren't real, it's that the gospel is better and that God is bigger. So let me just close with this. A few chapters later in Psalm 56, psalmist says this, Psalm 56:3, when I am afraid, I put my trust in you. When I am afraid, I put my trust in you. More trust is going to lead us to more peace. It's not that we're going to avoid being afraid. It's that when we are afraid, that should be our cue to start trusting God more. God who is our refuge and our strength. All right, so hey, thank you for tuning in for the message. Next up, we have the wonderful Emily Watkins. So please welcome Emily to the stage here as we get her on there. And there she is. Everybody, give her a hand at home. If you could just slow clap at home, that would be great. So Emily, what's happening?
Sitting in bed all day.
That's what you've been doing, is sitting in bed all day?
Yep.
Well, you had some good pieces of advice for us yesterday about how we could kind of survive all this time alone. So why don't you walk us through, as we have hours and hours of time now with our families? What are some tips on how to survive when we have all this free time on our hands?
All right, so one of the first things I got is that you can play an instrument. If you're like me and you have a random ukulele sitting around, bust that thing out and just go to town. Or a lot of kids in fifth grade had to have like a recorder for some reason because we all had to play an instrument. So if you had a recorder, or if you were cool and you had a kazoo, you could play that, play hot cross buns. I don't really know how this works.
That's beautiful.
Thanks. All right. Or if you're an AP kid, you better be reading some literary merit books. I have 1984 here and Jane Eyre. I don't think they're that great, but you probably should be reading them. Or you can bust out some craft supplies, follow a Bob Ross tutorial, and paint yourself some happy little trees. You probably don't want to go to Walmart to buy a canvas. If you're at Claire Stevens, you can paint your wall. Get your parents' permission first. Or, if you were a cool kid back in the day, you could find your old rainbow loom, and if you still have like bands lying around, make yourself like a fishtail bracelet. I have probably thousands at my house currently. Or, so going off arts and crafts, we may not have a prom, so you can make yourself like a DIY corsage. Fancy. Or if this one's for the dudes, or actually, you know what, Tress, if you're watching this is for you too. If you're into Marvel, you can watch all the Marvel movies in order. That is 50.25 hours worth of content. That is 2 full days if you don't sleep. So start binge watching. And then last but not least, you can make a world record. Did you know that the tallest toilet paper tower in 30 seconds by people of two is 28 rolls high? So if your family's stocked up on toilet paper, see if you can beat that record. Or send me a really cool toilet paper tower creation. That's all I got. So I'm gonna do announcements. All right, so first announcement. So if you're not plugged into Remind, get yourself plugged into Remind. That's where all our information is going to be coming from. And the code, you should have it up there. It's at NH. So you're texting this to this number. So you're going to text NHCCHS to 81010. And so get plugged in so that way you can get updates and any information you need. And then YouVersion. So if you have not yet downloaded the YouVersion Bible app, you should. It's a good app. But we will be sending out links to devotionals that we are going to try to do together as a youth group, and just a good way to keep yourself plugged into the Word. And then last but not least, small groups. So if you're not already in a small group chain, a text message, get yourself in one. If you don't know where to go, send us a message through Remind and we'll get you plugged in.
Sweet, thank you, Emily. Please give Emily a hand from your home. Thank you. All right, hold on. All right, here we go. Here's our last Kahoot thing. Hey, you guys, I figured out why things were being delayed so much. It's because I didn't adjust the latency rate. See, I knew what it was. I just didn't fix it on there. So anyway. Yeah, I did. I changed every timer to 60 seconds. So hopefully, sorry about that. It's probably like a 20-second delay. It should only be a few seconds, but it's 20 seconds. So apologize for that. So we're going to play one more Kahoot here. If anybody wants, this is for some more Dutch Brothers. So this is, again, short one, 7 questions. So if you want to jump in there, you can. So I'll give you a few minutes to do that. Let's see. What should we talk about? Well, the ukulele. Emily, we got a lot of ukulele requests from last night. I wonder if that might be something that you could learn this week, and then maybe in a subsequent week come back and maybe we'd be ready to debut your own song. Yeah,
Sounds good.
maybe.
Yeah.
I also, last night you mentioned teaching people to TikTok dance, and my son Rain was actually really excited about the potential for you. So yeah, teaching people to TikTok dance may be one of the best things that you could do with your time. I mean, that's just what the world needs is more TikTok videos, right? How we doing on leg? We still pretty
There's
bad.
7 people in currently on this one.
I got
8,
9.
just with 8, 9.
Oh, on the Kahoot?
Yes.
I got a bunch of people in there, yeah. So I think everybody's going in there. Oh, somebody used like some Hebrew or something just to, I don't know. That probably means tacos. Woo! Who's tacos? Oh, I can't read it at the same time. I can't read the comments at the same time. I don't think. Not really. Let's see. Oh, maybe I can.
How many is that one at?
16.
No, I can't. All right. Everybody in? If you're not in, say something in the comments.
Yeah, that one's faster now.
It's faster now? Okay.
That one used to be faster.
All right, here we go. We're going to start this Kahoot with whoever's in here now. Here we go. Question number 1. Who is the governor of Oregon? Starting you off real easy. We'll see. Hopefully it won't take a whole minute because then I won't have to talk for a minute in between these. But, when I think of the governor, I put up a picture of probably the most famous governor because, well, he's a great governor. And, I don't want to give away any hints to the answer to this question, but this guy was a great governor and also an actor, as you can see by the picture. But as you're probably figuring out, this is not a picture of the governor of Oregon. It's just a picture of a governor. But hopefully you picked up on that way earlier because you already answered. So anyway, we got 17 answers in so far. We got 6 seconds left. Did Dan and Megan won the first round, right? That's what we said? Okay, let's see how everybody did. Everybody got it right. Wow. So impressed. Okay, everybody's taking this seriously now. Miss Gina Stevens with the fastest answer on the first one. Number 2, in Latin, corona means crown, but in England, who wears the crown? That's right. Who wears the crown in England? See how I tied that in there? I had to, I had to try to connect those two. But Prince William, Prince Harry, Queen Elizabeth II, or Kate Middleton? Which of those 4 people wear the crown in England? I wish the comments could be in a British accent, or there would be I wish there could be a Siri voice modulator that could make me sound British just for this question. I would for sure use that. All right, I'm giving you some longer time to chime in here. I think does it automatically advance when everybody chimes in?
Should be.
Yeah,
So everybody's just about there. So there's 18 people now. I don't know how many people are in. It's timing out. Here we go. Let's see. Just one person got it wrong. I'd like to know who that was, but we'll never know. So Meadow taking the lead by 2 points. Ooh, that's quick. Question number 3. People who study viruses are called what? These are the people that we really need to depend on right now, right? The people who are hopefully coming up with solutions to this whole thing, the doctors. Yeah, I feel like I can't really see all the comments, but people are probably roasting me again in the comments about the lag, so I apologize. That's my bad. Man, there's one button. I just needed to click one button in the very beginning, and that would have been a lot faster. But next week, it's right here. I'm writing it down. I'm writing it down. Decrease the latency. I got it now. Okay. All right, 20 seconds left. Let's see. Oh man, this is going to take really long. I'm going to take a nap. All right. Virologists, how do you even say that? Virologists, I had it right. All right. Let's see. Oh, Gina Stevens back in the lead by 100 points. Greg, Dan, Allen on fire with 3 correct answers in a row. Question number 4. This 2011 movie has an eerily similar plot to what is happening with the coronavirus right now. It's people are saying that this movie is really extremely accurate to what is happening right now in America. Pandemic, outbreak, epidemic, or contagion? Which one is it? Oh. You guys may have watched all of these movies by now if you have been binging on YouTube lately.
I still don't know if I got it right.
10 seconds left. All right. Let's see. Ooh, Contagion was right. Which means Emily in the lead by less than 100 points. It's close. Greg in second place. Oh, question number 5. Put these events in chronological order from left to right. Okay, this is a new kind of question. You're gonna have to drag these 4 events in chronological order. Chronological? I don't think that's how you say it. I think it's chronological, but you know, when I've been talking for a while, that's how it comes out. All right, if it's not up yet, the 4 items are: Jesus comes back for a second time, the Wright brothers first achieve flight, the coronavirus pandemic, or Theodore Roosevelt becomes president. Put those in order chronologically. First thing that happened on the left, last thing that happened or will happen on the right. Whew. It's tough.
Because Wright brothers started in the 1900s.
It's a tough one.
Even the end, maybe the end. The problem is you don't need partial.
Good old Theodore Roosevelt. Does anybody know anything about Theodore? Can anybody tell me one thing in the comments about Theodore Roosevelt? I have no clue. I mean, no, actually, that's not true. He had glasses, and he was like really into wildlife conservation. I knew that. Let's see. The correct order is Theodore Roosevelt. I think that was 1901. Wright brothers, 1903. Coronavirus pandemic, now. Jesus comes back, who knows? Which means that it didn't even change the score.
Nobody got it right.
Nobody?
That's what it means.
Wow. I really thought somebody just based out a lot.
One person got it right.
One person?
Something wrong earlier.
Got it. All right, so that means our top scoreboard stays the same. Question 6. Medical workers often wear PPE so they don't get infected. What does PPE stand for? You know, my first experience with PPE was actually at the power plant because we had some chemicals there. Jessica, if you have any PPE questions, you could ask Jessica for sure. She every day probably has to do some sort of training on PPE, wear PPE. It's very, very important to anybody working in the medical field. What does that stand for? Does it stand for personal protective environment? Personal property and equipment, protective and palatable environment, personal protective equipment? Which of those 4 things is it? 5 seconds left. Ooh, just about everybody got that one right. You guys are well educated. Let's see. That means lead stays the same going into the final round. Last question for all the Dutch brothers right here. Which Hermiston restaurant is this? It should reveal it to you slowly, and so you'll have to guess which one it is out of those four: McDonald's, Rudy's, Taco Bell, or Panda Express. Which restaurant is being revealed in the picture?
Man, 20 points separates us, Emily.
Let's see. We got 30 seconds left, and 0 people have answered. That means that there's at least a 30-second lag. It's all right. It's all right. Okay, so I take back all the comments about being a professional YouTuber. I'm a very amateur YouTuber, and we'll get that fixed by next week. All right, 12 seconds left. People are texting in their answers. Will Emily remain on top?
Yes.
That is the question. Oh, let's see here. Everybody got it right, which means everybody waited. So the winner, the third place person would be Dan Allen, top 3 finishes both times. Number 2, Greg Anderson, which means the gold medal goes to Emily Watkins. Congratulations, Emily. You are our champion. Oh, and then we have some runners-up. What were the runners-up? JJ and Jessica? I don't even know who that is necessarily. All right. Hey, thank you guys for tuning in. Like Emily reminded you, we are sending out everything through Remind. So if you are not on Remind, please jump on and
I won that for you.
jump on and join. Then you'll get all the information. YouVersion links are coming soon. We'll be doing this for the near future. So Thursday nights, 7 p.m. Small groups. I'm going to rotate you through and have you guys maybe help host a night here at church. And so be thinking of some ideas for what your small group could do when it's your turn to host. Some top 10 lists, some games. Would love to see some people do some challenges, some eating challenges, or some challenges where the loser has to eat hot peppers or rip leg hair off of their legs. Anything like that might be fun. Hey, I'm going to keep the chat room open here for a few minutes. I'm going to put our logo back up. I'll keep the chat room open for just a few minutes here, and you guys can say good night. You can say hello. You can give each other virtual hugs because that's what you would do if you were really here. But hey, love you guys. Miss you. We'll be looking forward to when we can all come back together. But until then, we will hang out online on Thursday nights. So get connected to your small group through whatever text group chat they have, and we will catch you later. All right, guys. Hey, have a great night. We will see you when we see you.
El salir del sol no se compara con tu belleza y tu esplendor. Y me da calor, puedo sentir tu amor. Por tu mano todo fue creado.